I hope everyone can hear me. Please do your quick radio checks or readability checks. Practice some calls.
Mumbai ground. Victor Tango, Romeo Sierra Kilo. Stand 2. Pre-flight radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango, Romeo Sierra Kilo. Read you 5. How do you read?
Read you 5. Strength 5. Victor Tango, Romeo Sierra Kilo.
Mumbai ground. Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor on 1 to 1 decimal niner. Stand 2. Pre-flight radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango, Romeo Bravo Victor, Mumbai ground. Stand by.
Standing by. Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor.
Okay, very nice. Students, what's happening? Are we excited? Are we doing calls? Can you hear me? Can you see me? I think you cannot see me, but I'm sure you can hear me. Very good morning, everyone. I hope everything is going well. I can see that everybody has been engaged in studies, focused completely, getting more clarity as to what we are supposed to do. That's a very good sign.
Mumbai ground. Victor Tango Delta Alpha Sierra. After departure from runway 21, climbing to 2000 feet, passing 1500 feet, flaps got stuck. Request correction. Would like to maintain heading and climb to flight level 50. Request sector for dumping fuel between radial 150 to radial 200 at flight level 60, duration 15 minutes, and then would like to fly direct to Mumbai for full stop. Reason: heavy weight landing. Request clearance Boeing 737 person on board 120 Victor Tango Delta Alpha Sierra.
Pritam, good call. But what was happening in the call? Were you looking to request for a sector to exhaust fuel because your flaps were stuck? So, if that was the situation, or what was the situation, can you explain properly? Departure,
Yes,
arrival.
sir. So the flaps got stuck. So I was requesting for sector to exhaust the fuel, but at the end I realized I didn't give the reason. Uh, what my intention were.
Mm-hmm. It was a good call, good quality call. But if we want to see if what could be done better in this call, then definitely grammatically, with respect to RT language rules, everything was perfect. Rate of speech was good. It still felt it is very mechanical with respect to the urgency. Why are we calling? Was not sure. And flap stuck generally supposed to be a pan call. Aircraft overweight landing not possible. So we request for a sector. Generally, it's considered to be a pan call. So I'm not sure if you said pan, and otherwise also when you made the call, now technically it is right. You know a lot of terms and you're using full stop and all. I don't see the reason why. Second thing, if we have flaps stuck, we'll try to not climb further high. But I see your present flight level and your desired flight level 50. So accordingly, I was very happy with the way you were constructing and planning everything. It's a big task to say everything in one call, generally have that clarity. Everything is on the good side. Now we need to fine tune it. We need to remove a few things that are not mandatory for this situation. If they are mandatory, then we speak it in a way that it stands out so that you get more marks. So if that happens, then you can easily get 16 or above out of 20. So you focus on that also. What am I talking about exactly? You send me a picture of your call, and we need to emphasize what are we talking about? Why are we calling? So if I have departed Mumbai and I've realized flaps are stuck, so you said a lot about will maintain radial and heading, something like that. That was good, but we try to stay to the students. This is for everyone. We try to emphasize more on why are we calling and make it stand out. That's it. So how do we do it is the ultimate thing to make your call sound very perfect. So send me a log. And Rani, were you also taking a log? Were you also making log for your readability check? Only Vignesh has sent it to me. Whoever is practicing any call, you send me a log also. The moment your call is done, you send me a log. Okay. One thing, Pritam, I want you to be careful. Students, eyes on the screen. So you can see the screen. I'll show you. These are a few things that you have to be careful about. Pritam, I see it from your logs that you need to be careful about this. No matter whether we are practicing or we are doing it in exam, we do the exact thing only. So how to log students? Can you see my screen? Anyone? Anyone can see my screen? No? Students?
Negative. Victor Tango Romeo
Negative,
Bravo Victor.
negative, sir. Tango Papa Romeo Kilo.
You can see it now, I guess. Yeah. Pritam, transmission, reception. What do you do when you transmit something? You log it, and whenever ATC replies, you write where you ended, and from there you continue. If you don't do that, even if you do good calls, examiner might deduct a lot of marks. And then I continue from here. This continuation is very important. I don't see that in your logs. What I see in your logs is like this. So who spoke first? How would I know? Looking at the log. So I will need this correction. Okay.
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango Delta Alpha Sierra.
And why are you using dumping fuel? We cannot dump fuel in the vicinity of the aerodrome. Situational awareness, students. We just cannot go by certain words that we have picked up reading here and there. You have to exhaust fuel, you need to tell the time. You can burn the fuel being in a holding pattern in a sector flight, even with your flaps stuck. It's a critical situation. It's a pan situation. And you're risking because after some time you can have complete hydraulic failure also. But I like that you tried to use the words instead of dumping, you should say fuel burn. Okay. And radials were set for the sector. That is very good. Duration 15 minutes was set. Flight level 60, you are right now not even at 2000. It's a little bit tricky. Try to take the lowest possible flight level that you could get with safe altitudes, so that you don't have to go too high and then increase the chances of not being able to land. Otherwise, I like your call. I liked how you were comfortable. I like how you try to come up with situations and give that. Now it just needs to sound good. And with respect to our pronunciations of certain things, when we say Charlie, we have to say Charlie. It should not sound very different. And we should not give any extra accent to it. Even if our accent is sometimes we speak with a lot of other influences. So we try to change it with respect to Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, right? We speak it with the way they are supposed to be done. We don't over exaggerate it. It might come down as a point marked down. Okay, remember this. And pan, so the urgency is maintained in the structure of pan. So I can see you are there. A few more practices and you should be there. That's what I feel. Rani and Vignesh, good calls. Rani, I felt you are a little fast. If you could go a little more slower, it won't hurt. Otherwise, the logs are perfect. A good read back reply, very nice. So a little slow will be better. Vignesh gave a good reply, standing by. Good. So very warm welcome, everyone, once again. Sajal, you have a doubt about microburst? Students, I've seen some of the questions have been asked again and again. Probably we have not remembered it. Probably we didn't cover it, although we have studied so much. Individually, I'm talking about. Just in the first week of Jan, I think I was doing a session on microburst. So that session was very useful. Now, what is microburst? Everybody has to really understand two things about it carefully. Microburst, okay? It is something to do with low altitude weather phenomena that can impact an aircraft during its arrival, okay? Something of with respect to the pressure pattern of this particular microburst. This pattern has variations with respect to high pressure and low pressure. And because there is high pressure and low pressure, air tends to move upward and downward inside this area of the microburst. Now, what is this area of the microburst? If you think about your runway, okay, let's say this is a runway and this is a glide angle. We are supposed to glide like this. This is the horizontal. So here, your aircraft is supposed to maintain minimum altitudes with respect to minimum distances. Okay. So that on the threshold, my distance is 0 feet, like this on touchdown, or accounting for my runway elevation. Now, this is the minimum safe altitude I need to maintain. What happens with respect to microburst? Microburst gives me a cloud pattern like this at a lower altitude. And because of this cloud pattern, there is weather phenomena from the ground up to this cloud. And there is rain also because it's a burst, cloud burst. It means there is formation of rain also. Now, the wind is such that it will cause severe draft, that is a bunch of air mass, that is wind, a wind draft going down. We call it downdraft. So a lot of wind because of the pressure differences will go out like this. When the wind is going out, and if this microburst is in the flight path of the aircraft at lower altitudes, especially during approach, aircraft can lose up to 300 feet. Losing up to 300 feet, that too without any control, is very risky. It is not a good thing. Why? Because my aircraft could anytime undershoot or increase the chances. See, any downdraft would put my aircraft in the green position when it's supposed to be following the dotted line. So what do I do? Whenever I experience this on my finals or long finals, I state experience severe downdraft, lost altitude, 200 feet, 300 feet, whatever you can assume. Climbing back 200 feet or 300 feet to regain that altitude. So you'll say, I have lost it, but I'm regaining it and I'm initiating missed approach and go around procedure. So, and go around procedure. And then I'll join again and try to land again. So this is generally called as wet microburst. Wet means with rain. Dry microburst also exists. These happen at lower altitude and their span could be up to 5 to 10 kilometers. So they are huge. They will cover an aerodrome easily, but they are temporary. They don't stay there for a long time. They keep moving and they will not stay in a place for more than 5 to 10 minutes. So that particular approach after this aircraft could be avoided and an alternate runway could be given to the aircraft, or maybe a holding pattern could be assigned to all aircrafts before this microburst passes away from the vicinity. So all that you have to be careful. These are simple calls. Another type of calls are that you are on finals and your VOR fails, your ILS fails. So VOR, ILS, they are important with respect to guiding you for your landing, we could say. So if they're not working, and the landing would be instrument based. So if they're not working, so you will say, we'll be making visual approach. ILS, suspecting ILS malfunctioning, request visual approach, runway 27, and you can say your altitude. Aircraft 2000 feet, 03 nautical miles, inbound runway 28. Request visual approach. If they clear you for visual approach, you do visual landing. That's it. Runway inside, clear to land. That's it. Nothing else in your visual approach. Even if on arrival your VOR fails, you can say suspecting VOR malfunction, request visual approach. If runway is not given, you assume a runway. But that when your systems fail and you can do visual approach if you have visibility. Wet microburst or downdraft. Sometimes they'll also tell you updraft. Updraft would mean that your other part of the draft moving up is affecting the aircraft, and aircraft, instead of losing altitude, gains extra altitude. It could overshoot the runway. We don't know to overshoot. But generally with microburst, downdrafts are associated. But on the edges, updrafts are also there. So keywords in the examination question are, you experience downdraft, be it on finals or takeoff leg. It will be in the vicinity of aerodrome, close to the ground. Okay. Downdraft, updraft. So downdraft, aircraft loses up to 300 feet. updraft, we can say aircraft gains up to 300 feet. This 300 feet is maximum. It could be less also, sometimes 50 feet only, sometimes 100 feet only. Okay. Microburst. You associated it with downdraft only all the time. If they specifically mention updraft, then you know you're going to overshoot. Downdraft, you're going to undershoot the runway. So you just initiate a missed approach ground procedure. You don't even have to say emergency. But here, if you have emergency, you want to make emergency landing, landing is important, and still you're facing problems, then it's a pan call, you could say. That I already have low fuel or a sick passenger or some fire and I'm not able to land, anything could go wrong. So that way it will be pan. Any doubts? Sajal, that clears up your doubt. A very good question asked. I always like discussing things in class. So you understand the situation and master your calls. Even if now you're thinking, sir, I want to by heart all calls and I want scripted calls. I'll be like, you can do that. But what will you do if you get a question that you have not by hearted before? That one simple question should tell us that first we need to master our ability to give answers to any questions. Once we master that, after that, you can read 2000 questions also. It will just make your job easier. After that, if you read question, you will get intent, but your call structuring would be perfect. So you'll be like, yeah, I will structure it my way. I just needed to know the intent. So that way, reading questions become faster and quicker. So I'm not against it. I just want you to first master this. Many of your calls, I see the influence of other words that you have used from other calls, which are not gelling with what your call should be. So this is the negative impact that could happen initially. So I feel that there's always a right time to go with solutions of question papers with respect to any exam preparation. So you also try to go with the way I'm saying and try to look at things that will help you. This is for you only. This is the strategy. Okay, microburst could be wet or dry. In wet, there will be rain. In dry, there will not be any rain. Okay. And you know what to do if anything like your ILS or VOR goes wrong, then you know what to do, right? You request for visual approach. Any doubts? Any more questions? Are we ready for the simulation? Yes, Gurpreet.
Sir, in the case of a microburst, what we have to do? Sorry, I didn't understand properly. Victor Tango got from me, Papa.
Initiate missed approach and go around procedure. And if you have lost altitude by 300 feet, then climb 300 feet.
Sir, how to say this in the call?
Try to construct it. No? That's your job. Try to practice it. Where are you? You are with respect to the runway somewhere, you know your position. That will be given to you. It could be finals, long finals. And then you can say, I'm on this position with respect to the runway and I have got wet microburst. I've experienced downdraft. I've lost 300 feet. I'm climbing 300 feet and initiating missed approach and go around procedure. What's the difficulty in constructing a call here? Just because the situation is new, it doesn't mean we cannot construct calls. We should always look for new situations and try to construct our own calls and see whether we are getting there or not. So you should always come up with a plan. So गुरप्रीत क्या दिक्कत है कॉल में क्या ही है जो हो रहा है वही बताना है ना
Yes, affirm sir. Everything is clear.
क्या पूरा लेक्चर कहाँ थे आप अरे जवाब नहीं दे रहे हो कहाँ थे
सर एक्चुअली सर यही था मैं बस थोड़ा सा मेरे को अंडरस्टैंड नहीं हो पाया प्रॉपर है इसको कैसे इसको करना है इसको
होता है उसमें कोई बात नहीं यू कैन ऑलवेज रिप्ले दिस पार्ट ऑफ द रिकॉर्डिंग ऑलवेज एंड गो थ्रू इट अगेन एंड अगेन कोई टेंशन नहीं इसको पार्किंग लॉट में डाल दो अभी भी नहीं समझा तो
Okay.
Students, be very careful, okay? These are new things, okay? And what is happening is, due to wet microburst, there is a change in flight path, okay? Now, the flight path while arrival or landing is of two types. One is to maintain the runway center line, and second is to maintain the glide slope. To maintain the glide slope, we have instruments, but a wet microburst and the associated downdraft is going to make my glide slope go down. So I'm following a false glide slope here. See the yellow line with respect to this green aircraft? This is very bad, very difficult for the pilot to maintain like this and glide without loss of. This is a very, very bad situation. So my change in flight path is with respect to glide path. But questions could come with respect to certain points that you have had change in your flight path. So you should know that, yeah, I'm following a lower glide slope. I need to regain altitude, initiate missed approach. If you don't do missed approach, you might undershoot the runway. So you are doing it for the safety. Okay. Microburst is like arising from a cloud that is building up storm only. Okay. So I can give you two keywords here. So this dotted black line is our intended glide path or intended flight path. Intended flight path. So you should be careful about these words. You know, they could give you questions where they could say you are unable to maintain intended flight path and you are off by minus. They say minus, it means you are lower. Plus, it will mean up with respect to the glide slope angle. You need to be very careful about how they are putting in questions. Constructing should be always structured. Whom to call? Where are we? You should figure out where you are. And then what is happening to us? We lost altitude. We are stuck in a microburst. We have a downdraft. And then what is your intent? I'm just going to climb back 300 feet and initiate missed approach go around procedure. That's what I'm going to do now. And then I structure it into the call. Mumbai Tower, Air India 123, finals runway 32. Experienced wet microburst, severe downdraft, lost 300 feet. Climbing 300 feet and initiating missed approach go around procedure. Boeing 737, IFR Delhi to Mumbai. Passenger on board 180. The same situation can be given to you students with respect to you're on a lower glide slope, higher glide slope. So don't be confused. It's like, okay, I know what to do. And I know how to speak. So you all heard the call, right? That is the call. See, when you don't ride, you tend to be a little fast. So other person could miss out and lose interest. So we need to be slow. But I hope you understand how to make call. Gurpreet, मैंने example भी दे दिया. Students, be very alert, okay? And if you miss out on anything, please feel free to ask. Ayush, what's on your mind?
So when we departed and we got bird hit on the one engine, then we request for sector or not, or we request immediate landing.
If you have structural damage, you would try for immediate landing. That will be emergency landing. If your aircraft is overweight and you cannot land, but you're compelled to land, then you could say precautionary landing. Emergency landing would require precautionary landing. Aircraft overweight, I say again, aircraft overweight for landing. So there's one more concept called as forced landing, students. There will be times when you will be forced by the aircraft to land because you are unable to maintain altitude, but luckily you are able to maintain the attitude of the flight, like straight and level. So forced landing is also obvious to happen, whether the aircraft is overweight or not. But in this case, if you've got bird hit, land back quickly. You don't know where you have got the hit, but you're suspecting structural damage, so you land back anyway. You got structural damage, but make it a precautionary landing. And let's see how it goes. there's one more diagram. I'll just show you. If this is my runway, if this is my cloud, big cloud, then the winds are coming like this. Like this. So with this respect to this, if my aircraft is going to enter this area, it is sort of gonna get downdraft with the headwind component, it's a very bad thing for us. And this aircraft here will only get downdraft completely. This aircraft here will get downdraft, but with a tailwind component. You see different effects will happen. So we need to be, aware what are the effects and just nullify those effects. So we don't go to land in this case. And they will reduce our glide path so we can always undershoot. So a pilot has to do something about these situations. Otherwise, if my pilot has to go through this required glide slope, if my pilot doesn't follow it, then my pilot will go here like this. The pilot has to do something to ensure that they don't undershoot like this. If pilot does nothing, so you have to be aware. And the winds, the winds will have varying speed. It will not have the same speed like this and becomes a headwind component. So what is happening because of the headwind component? Your ground speed is reducing and you are slower than you have to be here. Similarly, during takeoff, if you're going to take off and this is your takeoff path, then a tailwind component will make you faster. So you might not be able to maintain minimum obstacle clearance because you need to gain altitude, but here it's pushing you. So you might not be able to gain altitude and meet obstacles. So if this is a building like this, so you might be pushed like this quickly to meet it. You need to be slow. So these situations are bad. But for your RT exams, it's easy. Not very difficult. Any other questions? Think about it. No questions? Vignesh, go ahead.
Sir, when we depart and if we experience downdraft, can we request to climb above the cloud so that we can avoid downdraft? Or before departure, we'll be receiving such kind of thunderstorm so that we will not be departing.
See, these things will happen to you when they were not expected by anyone. If they were expected with respect to certain reports, then you would have not been given that runway for departure because a cloud or a microburst was suspected over there. So here you will not get a chance to climb over the top of the cloud because it will be a huge cloud. It will be going high feet in the air, many feet in the air, and you cannot possibly gain that altitude. So that is not an opportunity. If something is going wrong on your takeoff leg, then you will turn. Maximum deviation that you could do is a left turn, that too only by 15 degrees. So you can do that. And if it's a downdraft, then you'll try to claim your altitude again by experiencing how much you have lost. You can look at a vertical speed indicator and see if there was a sudden indication of drop. And you will climb again and turn left and request further instructions before you do anything else. You'll continue your climb till your assigned altitude, which was given to you in your ATC clearance, and you'll try to comply with the ATC clearance. But if it's on a takeoff leg, understand it's a downdraft. First, understand the effect. You're going to lose 300 feet. Up to 300 feet, you can regain it. and you can turn left 15 degrees to avoid the impact. Because if it is in front of you, if you're trying to go laterally by avoiding it, the max deviation on takeoff leg is 15 degrees to the left. Try to do that and see if you're outside. This is a very bad situation during takeoff. Your engines are also struggling to climb. The aircraft is very heavy, and the flaps are also extended. So aircraft has more structural area where more wind mass can impact it. So these times when you have just departed, you are doing a lot of things. After reaching the first assigned altitude, you will be retracting your flaps, getting into a non-flap extended position. Only then you will get higher climb. So for you, the next speed at things will happen at related speeds. But right now you have to maintain altitude also, because aircraft is having a lot of turbulence also in this case. A little bit of turbulence, and turbulence at a lower altitude is very risky, students. Takeoff is the most critical aspect. Anything could go wrong and we would not have enough time to come back from the situation. So here, if you are airborne, if you have downdraft, turn left 15 degrees to avoid the microburst area and climb 300 feet and maintain heading, report reaching, and say how do you feel afterwards. Are you still stuck? Is there still turbulence? Are you still losing altitude? If yes, then we can do some radar vectoring and try to guide you out of it. You can trust your weather radar, but your weather radar will work horizontally only, and here you are on a lower altitude, you're in immediate bad weather, so you need help from ATC, and you need good comfort space to get out, but you also need to maintain altitude, because lower altitude, if you are in the wrong place at the wrong time, collisions could happen, or you can meet obstacles. So you have to think about it with respect to the call. Turn left 15 degrees and climb 300 feet to regain altitude. Nothing else will happen in that case. This will be the first thing that I will do. I hope everyone is thinking. Students are not making noise. I had told you all that we need a lot of interaction going ahead. That interaction is mandatory so that we can see each other's, we can see your capacity to, answer part 2 Viva calls, questions. Just give me a second. So we'll get started with the mock. Students who are interested to give a live call, keep your hands raised, okay? I'll share it and we will start it. I'll take your call sign. Everybody in the waiting room. Okay, no one is raising their hands. Why? Why? Not confident or not willing to practice? I thought there will be a queue of people willing to practice, saying, sir, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to do it. Good. Very happy to see your confidence levels. I want active participation by everyone. Don't miss out on this. Don't take it lightly. I might be very calm and composed. I don't want to induce any panic. It doesn't mean you'll take things for granted. All right. So especially students with February You have to be ready and you should be putting yourself in the situation and doing your best as well as logging what is happening. We'll be making it very quick. All right. So here is the paper. And yeah. Everybody ready? Your timer starts now. And I'm just going to take a call sign after I start the timer. And that person will do the simulation starting now. And that student is Victor Tango, Romeo, Bravo, Victor. Victor Tango, Romeo, Bravo, Victor, kindly acknowledge.
Affirm Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor.
Yeah, so the timer has begun. Students, you can lower your hands now. And everybody back with the mission. On the hot list would be, of course, there'll be Pritam. And then there'll be Rani, Zanvi, Jyotsna, Nukul. Jyotsna, you are also on the hot list. Okay, we'll simulate a blind experience. Vignesh, no, timer has begun now.
Delhi Tower. Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee on 118.1, flight level 270, Whiskey 13 North, 20 DME inbound Chileti. Time now 1100. Estimating enter Delhi control zone 1115, Delhi 1125, exit Delhi control 1135, ETA Amritsar 1155, request transit clearance. Delhi approach, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee. How do you read? Delhi, Delhi Control, Victor Tango Hotel, correction, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee, Whiskey 13 North, flight level 270, 20 DME inbound Chileki, time now 1100. Request climb to flight level 290, negative RVSM, due Delhi control zone closed below flight level 270.
Go to next question.
Delhi control, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee, Whiskey 30 West, over Uxida, 15 minutes behind schedule, flight level 270, estimating Bullocks 1115, correction, revised estimation Bullocks 1115, ETA Amritsar 1130. Request descent to flight level 200. Position radial 165, 75 DME inbound Amritsar, flight level 270, Whiskey 30 West.
Go to next question.
Amritsar Tower, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee, on finals for runway 12, ILS is malfunctioning. Request visual approach.
Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee, Amritsar Tower, runway 12 closed due weather report intention.
Runway 12 closed due weather. Would like to climb flight level 50. Request further instruction correction. Would like to divert to alternate Chandigarh. Request instruction to set course to Chandigarh.
Okay, go to next question. Send me a log. So how's the experience?
Sir, I didn't expect so. In the first question, I was confused. CTR is control or control
No,
zone.
just tell me overall. Do you think you will get passing or not?
I think I have done the basics right. Maybe the intention would be wrong. So I think around 60% should be fine.
Okay. Pritam, what are your views? How was your situation?
For me also, I got confused. I know the closed, so I'm confused whom to call. I was thinking of radio, but I don't think so. It's going to be for radio.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. So we are starting the timer. And Pritam, you are taking the same question paper and you're going to make your own calls. And your time starts now. Vignesh, I need your logs.
Yeah,
And
please.
Pritam, all the best.
Delhi, Control, Victor Tango, Lima Hotel Yankee. How do you read? Delhi, Radio, Victor Tango, Lima Hotel Yankee. How do you read? Jaipur approach, Victor Tango, Lima, Hotel Yankee. How do you read?
Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee. Delhi Control. Contact. Appropriate authority.
Roger, Victor Tango, Lima, Hotel Yankee. Chillarki Tower. How do you read? Victor Tango, Lima, Hotel Yankee.
Go to next question.
Delhi Control, Victor Tango, Lima, Hotel Yankee over Uniform X-ray India Delta Alpha. Time now 1145. Flight level 270. We are 15 correction 15 minutes behind schedule due to strong headwind. Our revised estimate Bollocks 1200 ETA Amritsar 1230 Boeing 737 Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee.
Go to next question.
Amritsar Tower, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee on final runway 12, unable to maintain glide slope, would like to do correction, like to initiate missed approach and climb to 2000 feet. Request for alternate runway. Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee.
Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee, Amritsar Tower. Minimum safe altitude 2500 feet. Go around not approved as not requested. Runway 30 unavailable for visual approach.
Roger, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee. Safe correction. Minimum safe altitude 2500 feet. Go around not approved as requested. Runway 30 unavailable for visual approach. Would like to initiate go around and climb and maintain 2500 feet. Also request runway 30 for ILS correction, VOR landing.
Go to next question. Okay, submit your logs. So how was the experience, Preetham? Were you able to write while speaking? What do you
Yes,
think? You passed?
it's very tough to speak and write, like, because I'm not used to this thing, so my handwriting is really messed up.
Mhm. What do you think? You performed well or not? You already had the question paper. The same was repeated. Was it any advantage?
Yeah, it was an advantage. For 1-2, I guess it was really bad because I've tried calling, so I'm still confused whom to call. For third, I guess I did like okay thing, but for 1 and 2, I don't think so I will get mark for this.
Any understanding? Did you do anything right? Anything wrong? Send me your logs now. I'm waiting. How about everyone else? Zanvi, how was the experience?
Sir, I was not sure who to call in the first question. Even I am confused.
Mhm.
The second and third were easy.
Mhm.
First one was also easy, just who to call, I'm confused.
Mhm. Jyotsna, how about you?
I'm also confused in the first question. Not able to identify to whom to call.
Mhm.
I was thinking to call if the Delhi is closed, Delhi control zone is closed. So can we call to Charlie control?
Mhm.
I was thinking to call Charlie control.
Mhm.
And second and third was, matlab, I was able to do it.
Okay. Sajal, your experience.
I want to ask that in question 1, can we ask for climb to flight level 280?
No, we cannot do that.
So why? Because Delhi control is closed till flight level 270.
Mhm. Of course. Delhi control. Okay. How was your experience, Sajal? You asked for a straight question. I said, no, you cannot take it. You're asking why? Because it's not allowed. If you're asking 280, and it's not allowed. 280 will not be allowed.
Okay.
Mm. So, how was your experience?
Sir, I was confused in question 1 only. 2 and 3, I got the idea.
Mhm.
And
So,
sir,
what would you have
in
done? Question number 1. What would you have done?
sir, I could have come out of Delhi control zone.
Okay. You are asking one more thing. Yes.
Yes, sir. In answer 3, question says take necessary clearance. So what clearance is it?
In which question?
Sir, in question 3. Sorry, second.
Question second.
Over Uxida.
Hmm. What clearance are you aware about and what clearance is applicable? Any one of those. Of course, one of those only. What clearance? That is the question. Good. So you are confused in 2 questions. So out of 3, if you're confused in 2 questions, how much are we expecting?
Sir, not a good score.
Students, you have studied so much. You are attending lectures. Why are you not confident? At least be confident. I know it's very difficult if it doesn't come from inside, but understand this is your exam. You have studied for it. You're prepared for it in one way or the other. It's it solely depends upon your performance, nothing else. It doesn't depend upon anybody's assumption about you or wrong judgments about you. Everything is crystal clear. You perform well, you get through. You don't perform, you don't get through. It is solely based upon your performance. So we need to be confident, right? If we are not confident, then I've told you already, it will impact our performance. But sometimes the confidence becomes overconfidence. That also impacts our performance. So we need to find a common ground. I don't know if you all understand these terms, but I think everybody has their own sweet spot, a safe spot. We all need to find that. And that safe spot, it is not the best spot. It's our best spot. It could be lower than someone else, higher than someone else. But this is our best spot. So we be confident about that spot. Things go wrong when we are shifted from our comfortable spot. Understand this perception right now. If you're comparing yourself with someone else, maybe your peers or someone else who you think is way better than you, then you will not be in your spot where you'll feel the confidence. You'll be in their spot, you'll be in their race. They will end up making you feel inferior, so you become a part of their plan. If you are feeling inferior, then it cannot be your plan because nobody would plan on being inferior or feeling inferior because you always have a choice to plan the best. So if you think I need confidence only when I will be getting RT license, then I'll get confidence. Practically, I like that. But in order to get the RT license, you first need to be confident. So you need to do the impossible. At time and again, I say this. If you focus more on what you don't know and questions, then you will not grow much. Why? Because it's creative for you to think as a pilot and take decisions. Now, a simple thing you cannot figure out, students, which ATC to talk. It is because you are thinking from a student's perspective, not a pilot's perspective. Second thing, I've required a clearance, but I've never studied any clearance that should be taken when I'm in this and this position, because I've only known about few clearances and that doesn't match. Why is this judgment coming in our mind? Okay, what am I supposed to do? My destination is very close to me. Okay, what clearance would it be? It would be descent only, nothing else. So I have to make sure I say top of descent also. I say my revised estimates also, because it talks about delay. It would be descent clearance, nothing else, Sajal. It should have come to us, obviously. But no, we are thinking as a student, so we want to by heart question and answer, question and answer, question and answer. That's how we have been taught. This is not an exam that will be like that. Again and again, I say that. So when you don't get an auto suggestion answer in your mind, you get tricked. Oh, I don't know what to do. What clearance is this? Because you're blank, because no answer is matching from your memory base. Because you never by hearted this, how will you get it? So you become aware, okay, what could be the clearance? Am I crossing a control boundary? I'm crossing an FIR boundary. Am I crossing a CTR or CTA? No. I'm going to land. It will be descent only. I need to request for descent clearance. Do I have to change route? Do I have to change destination? No. So I ask a lot of questions and I answer them yes or no, yes or no. If everything is no, 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 then you keep discussing about what is the possible thing, what is the possible thing, what is the possible thing. You'll get an yes. Okay. So that way it becomes easy. But what is the strategy that we are using? We have to tweak it a little bit to find ourselves not be stuck, because exam questions will be of this level only. They will have multiple factors within them and they will try to destabilize you and take you away from your comfort sweet spot. But first you need to find that spot. So you become a planner and make everything a part of your plan. So that's where you need confidence. So I can say that some students, they sound confident even when they are not. And some students, they are, but they don't sound. Some people might be confident, sounding confident also, or vice versa. It impacts our calls. Everybody is being told wherever it's required. Not all students. Some students are told that you have to focus on the urgency, why aspect of the call. No problem. But here I need confidence. Sajal, I am expecting you to be giving me one of the best calls in the class. So for you, Zanvi, Jyotsna, Nukul, all of y'all, I am expecting y'all to be very confident. If y'all don't be confident, then what's missing? Is memorizing 1,000 questions is the only thing missing? Then you need not worry, because we have a plan. If that is one thing that is reducing your confidence levels, then that should not be that thing. It should be like, okay, that is not related to my confidence. What is it then? Then you find your sweet spot. Simple. We all find our strengths. Remember, students, whenever you're talking about time, it's better to write time in this way, like this, near the question number. And observe this time and make your call and estimates. You'll fetch more marks, because everybody was using time now, time now. Instead of that time now, you could have mentioned time against the question number also, as it is told to us. Okay. Anybody who knows which ADC to talk to? Question number 1.
तो चिलार की टावर
चिलार की टावर का तो फ्रीक्वेंसी नहीं दिया है.
Delhi approach Victor Tango November Kilo Charlie.
Exactly, Delhi approach. हम दिल्ली अप्रोच को क्यों नहीं कोई कॉल कर रहे थे? Technically speaking, we were in the spot of Delhi approach only. क्या हो रहा था? Vignesh, Preetham, Sajal, Jyotsna, Zanvi, everyone. Why could we not see what Nukul could see? Delhi approach. And what is there in the question? CTR is control zone. Why are we calling it control or control area? It's a very difficult question. But it doesn't mean that we will destabilize. Chart number 3. Where am I? I was wondering when Preetham, you tried to call the other ATCs, you contacted Jaipur approach. I was like, good thinking. But first, at least you could have tried Delhi approach also. Why directly Jaipur approach? It didn't make sense. Jaipur approach would not have been there in your range also. Now, what does the question tell me? Students, it's a difficult question. Everybody has to make sure that you know how to sort this. If you can learn how to sort such questions, you are through exams. Okay. 20 DME inbound Chilerki. So how much is 20? Somewhere here I am assuming. Okay, somewhere here my aircraft is here. Okay, this spot here. This is me. Okay. What's my cruising altitude? My cruising altitude is flight level 270. Flight level 270. Now, what are they telling me? They're telling me you're informed that Delhi CTR is control zone. Delhi CTR is this area. This area. This area is closed below flight level 270 up to Butop. So they have told us that this airspace is closed up to flight level 270 and up to this point you will not get any service up to flight level 270. This is Butop, Whiskey 30 West. So this is the airspace. Tower is not going to be available. CTR is also closed. CTR closed means tower will not be available, but they have given us a reference. CTR closed below flight level 270. So 270 and below is gone. You can assume that also in this case to be on a safer side. So what do? You request them for the next closest flight level. Keep odd to odd. So if it's 270, you are on 270, you request for 290. So Sajal, you were close. Vignesh also realized it later on. Preetham never got a chance to take this call. So see, 3 different situations. Jyotsna would have done something else, Zanvi would have done something else. But what's the correct thing? Correct thing is to first figure out, okay, we will not be able to cross CTR at 270 because it's not available, but 290 is available. So I'll request for 290. Other information in the question paper clearly states aircraft non-RVSM approved. Whenever you're non-RVSM approved and you have to request for RVSM flight levels, you have to say negative RVSM. Or whenever you don't have RVSM, you're going to fly. So Vignesh realized it in the second part of the call when he got some time to think about his mistakes. That time I was just going to say, go to the next question as an examiner, but he just simply took a call because I realized he didn't get my response because I was on mute. So like, okay, let him finish this call. So when he made mistakes after that, instead of approach, he called control and he gave the whole call. There are a lot of errors there, but here at least he thought aircraft negative RVSM request flight level 290. So here your cruising altitude changes to 290. You would have got clearance 290. You should have said aircraft negative RVSM in the end of your call. And you'll talk to approach. You'll tell approach to give you climb right now. Approach might pass you on to control or tower, whatever the case is. Once you have been cleared for flight level 290, then you can request for transit clearance if Delhi Tower is there in touch with you. Otherwise, you are talking to approach. Now you can change over to control, report position to control over Delhi, new flight level, give estimates up to Butop, and think about whether after Butop you're going to descend or not, or you're going to maintain 2980. If you're going to maintain 2980 up to certain point, you have to keep mentioning aircraft negative RVSM. So that is the realistic thing. Report intention and take necessary clearance was a climb clearance over here. And intention was I would like to take flight level 2980 aircraft negative RVSM. Those are the key areas that we had to focus on. Then question number 2 over Uksida. Preetham, waypoints are to be said with their names. Uksida, Elrux, Butop, Pekix. I don't know why you said Echo, Lima, Romeo, Uniform, X-ray. Okay. Second thing, this is not allowed. Don't do that. Second thing, students, in your logs, if you say correction after made a mistake, then start the repetition by the last correct word said. Remember, we have learned that rule. They will be judging you on that rule. So not everybody has followed that correction rule. And Preetham, couple of your responses were not perfect. You said Roger, Victor Tango, Lima, Hotel, Yankee, and then you gave a readback of the conditions. That is not a good way to do it. You give the readback and end with your call sign. Simple. So it was like you immediately gave a acknowledgement. You didn't give them any time to reply, and then you gave a readback again. A little structuring mistake was there, we could say. So here, question number 2, you arrive over Iksida. I'm here. So I'm assuming I am at flight level 2980 only. But if it was issued to me in the first call, which was the assumption here, you are 15 minutes behind schedule, take necessary clearance and give information accordingly. These words are to trick you. Now, students who are looking for specific answers to specific questions, you will be tricked because they will change the language of your questions. So don't train your mind to just look for keywords and come with memorized answers. Don't train your mind like that. Train your mind first to make organic calls. Okay, what clearance will I need? Where is Uksida? Okay, I'm going to cross control boundary on Bollux. That could be one crossing clearance that I need. Second thing would be give information accordingly. What information they are supposed to give? What is the keyword? I read the question again, I realize you're over Uksida 15 minutes behind schedule. So necessary information would be revised estimates and revised ETA. It was a good thing to see all of you all mentioned revised estimates, but you didn't say revised ETA. When you say ETA, you should say revised because it's revised. And then you could have requested for descent, top of descent. But that's it in this situation. Whom would you have called? Delhi Control was the correct ATC to call over here. So that was a good thing. Everybody called the right ATC over here. It was a descent call. And then question number 3, at finals runway 3, 2, correction, finals runway 1, 2, you realize your ILS is malfunctioning. Request visual approach was told. Tricky situation to Vignesh, tricky situation to Preetham. Preetham, abhi just maine sikhaya. I've just thought right now. If your instrument don't work, request for a visual approach. You skipped that and you tried something on your own, which was not required. If only you would have followed training. That's where you need to bring in the training first. It was so realistically given to you 10-15 minutes before only. So it tells me probably you didn't remember it because it was in your short-term memory, or maybe you just missed it when I was talking about it in the class because of something that could have been a disturbance. Whatever the case is, here I was expecting you to give me a visual approach. But I like your creativity. You tried to do a lot of things. But sometimes they might work against us also if our quality is not good. So we'll feel that we are confident enough, but if we are doing silly errors, then the confidence is not going to help. So there you have to restrict the things to what you have learned first and master them, find your sweet spot. Don't try to be somewhere which is not your comfort zone just because you think using heavy words will help you clear. No. Use the words and the processes perfectly and you will clear. But I like how you're trying to think out of the box. So students, that will help you if you keep doing it. Once when you find your base, after that when you use your expertise, it works. So here it was a visual approach required. Simple call, request visual approach. I would have said maintain this, report runway in sight, clear to land runway in sight. Simple call it was supposed to be. But the way y'all replied, we also tried to talk back to you with respect to that and make the situation a little more difficult. So I hope everybody has got a solution to this. Any points of discussion? Tell me. Doubts? Preetham, Vignesh, Sajal, are you not satisfied with the solution? Are you satisfied with the solution? Zanvi, Jyotsna, Nukul, Manan, Usaid, students having their exams. Talk to me, come on.
सर चिलारकी के पास सर फ्रीक्वेंसी नहीं है, तो मतलब सर वो कंट्रोल में नहीं है. विक्टर टैंगो इन्फॉर्म शेयर डेल्टा.
किसके कंट्रोल में नहीं है?
सर मतलब चिलारकी के पास सर मतलब फ्रीक्वेंसी नहीं है, तो सर हम उसे कांटेक्ट नहीं कर सकते.
होगी फ्रीक्वेंसी, इस चार्ट पे नहीं है तो इस चार्ट के बेसिस पे कैसे मिलाओगे? दिल्ली से मांग लो फ्रीक्वेंसी या दूसरे चार्ट पे देखो क्या फ्रीक्वेंसी है. बात कर सकते हैं डेफिनेटली. चिलरकी, if airport is there, then at least tower will be there. Here they are just saying there is a VOR. We don't know if it's a terminal VOR. We don't know if there is an airport. So maybe there's just a VOR for navigation, en route VOR. So probably they don't have an ATC here. So we cannot assume they have ATC here because in this chart, ATC is not given in Chilarki. Probably just an en route VOR, students. VOR can be en route also. And Preetham, आपने VOR approach मांगा, ठीक लगा, but आपने visual try करना चाहिए था. But I liked you asked for alternate runway. So I can see that everyone is getting there in the correct zone. Vignesh also did wrong and then he was doing right. Preetham also seemed he was doing something wrong, but he ended up doing everything right. So it was nice to see that flexibility. Now you just need to fine tune your calls. क्या चल रहा है? Rani, what are your observations?
Same, sir. I was also confused.
अभी कैसा लग रहा है after giving the solution? Students, please be careful about how we are thinking. अभी कैसा लग रहा है आप लोगों को?
Yes, sir. अभी समझा, और क्वेश्चन समझने में थोड़ा टाइम लगता है, तो थोड़ा डिले होता है.
Delay is fine, you know, because Preetham, you were way too good with your time. So आप थोड़ा slow जा सकते हो. Vignesh, you were also good with your time. You can go slow. Time का कोई issue ही नहीं है, students. Take your time. You will never run short of time if you're doing the right things. Trust me on this. Have you learned something or are you still thinking, oh, मेरे को तो आया नहीं है पेपर में क्या करूं? What is your takeaway from this, students? I want everybody to talk. Don't make me take your names, man. Come on. The channel is open.
Sir, I have learned like so many things, but right now my biggest problem is speaking and writing, which I'm facing like for a couple of days. अभी क्या होता है?
इसको प्रॉब्लम नहीं बोलते ना प्रीतम, इसको प्रॉब्लम नहीं बोलते हैं. ये प्रैक्टिस है एंड यू आर गोइंग थ्रू इट. जैसे मैं अभी भी उसमें हाथ बिठा रहा हूँ मेरा. अभी भी मेरे को उसमें ज्यादा कॉन्शियस एफर्ट लग रहा है. आई डोंट थिंक यू आर रॉन्ग विद दैट. इफ यू चेंज द इंटोनेशन ऑफ योर टोन, आई थिंक राइटिंग एंड लिखने का बोलने का स्पीड में कोई इश्यू नहीं लग रहा है. आपने क्या लॉग बाद में लिख के भेजा है क्या? रियल टाइम में नहीं लिखा था क्या?
नहीं सर, रियल टाइम में लिखा है, लेकिन आपका अगर आप हैंडराइटिंग देखेंगे सो इट्स नॉट लाइक
हैंडराइटिंग अच्छी है.
एक मुश्किल से समझ में.
नहीं नहीं, तुम टीचर हो कि मैं टीचर हूँ? अच्छी हैंडराइटिंग है, चल जाएगी. स्पेलिंग्स करेक्ट लिखनी है आपको बस, और पेन से लिखना शुरू करो. और अच्छा लग रहा है, इतना कोई इशू नहीं है. आपने काफी स्पेस ले लेके लिखा है एंड समझ आ रही है आपकी हैंडराइटिंग. करेक्शन पूरा लिखना है. ये करेक्शन का आर जो है वो एन लग रहा है तो कनेक्ट लगता है, वो सही कर दो बस. और यू और वी को केयरफुली लिखो. और यू सीधा और वी ठीक है लग रहा है. वी आर 15 करेक्शन पूरा लिखना है. 15 मिनट्स. मिनट्स का क्या है एब्रिवेशन नहीं पता तो पूरा लिखो मिनट्स. Behind, students, I have given you a notes. I had emailed you all notes yesterday also for RT. In one of those notes, there is an abbreviation doc. In that document, find the abbreviations for things that you're looking for, minutes and all. Read that. And I've also shared part 2 booklet, some part 2 Viva questions. Read that booklet at least twice. They carry important questions. It's written in a good to understand language only. And whatever points you don't understand, you can discuss. Some students have done it in the past. Those who have not done it, you do it. Today we are going to give you some extra time. सो प्रीतम, तुम्हारा ये चैलेंज नहीं है, बस स्पेलिंग सही लिखनी है आपको। मिनट्स बिहाइंड स्केड्यूल का स्पेलिंग रॉन्ग लिखा है, समझ नहीं आएगा आपने क्या लिखा है। ड्यू टू स्ट्रॉन्ग हेडविंड, तो स्ट्रॉन्ग में STRONG समझ नहीं आ रहा है। एस के बाद टी भी कैपिटल लिखा है आपने। सो नो व्हेन टू यूज कैपिटल्स और नॉट, जस्ट यूज योर कैपिटल्स व्हेन यू आर यूजिंग एब्रिविएशंस। अदर देन दैट राइट फुल स्पेलिंग्स। एंड बाकी स्मॉल में लिख सकते हो, स्केड्यूल स्केड्यूल का क्वेश्चन पेपर में दिया है। एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग सही नहीं लिखा है, वो कंफ्यूज कर रहा है किसी को भी सुनने के लिए। हेडविंड में HN लग रहा है, H नहीं लग रहा है, वो क्लियर। आर रिवाइज्ड एस्टिमेट्स, आर हटा सकते हो, रिवाइज एस्टिमेट्स। डॉलुक्स, ETA अमृतसर, अमृतसर लोकेशन डेजिग्नेटर डाल सकते हो, आपको ज़्यादा फास्ट हो जाएगा। 1230, ये 2-3। आई होप यू हैव नोटिस व्हाट आई एम सेइंग। इन पे करेक्शन करो, आपका राइटिंग का इशू सॉल्व हो जाएगा। आर यू लिसनिंग और नॉट?
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango Delta Alpha Sierra.
डिड यू नोट डाउन एवरीथिंग? पूरा एकदम डेडिकेटेड बता रहा हूँ आपको मैं। अनेबल अच्छे से लिखना है, अनेबल क्लियर नहीं दिख रहा है। सो स्टैंडर्ड वर्ड्स एंड फ्रेजेस जो मेन एम्फेसिस लेते हैं वो तो क्लियरली दिखना चाहिए। अनेबल फॉर विजुअल अप्रोच, तो F को थोड़ा अच्छे से घुमाओ ऊपर से, तो वो T ना लगे। सिंपल है, उसके अलावा कुछ इश्यू नहीं है, हैंडराइटिंग अच्छी है। ये एरर्स फिक्स कर लोगे, आपकी हैंडराइटिंग पूरी समझ आ रही है। बस रीड बैक सही देना है, यहाँ पे रॉजर के साथ रीड बैक नहीं आएगा, यहाँ पे रीड बैक सीधा रीड बैक के साथ आएगा। और सेफ ऑल्टीट्यूड 2500 फीट है, आपने जो 5 लिखा है वो 0 जैसा दिख रहा है, तो आपका 2500 फीट से कंफ्यूज हो सकता है आपके लॉग में। तो इन चीज़ों पे ध्यान दो। मस्त है, बाकी हैंडराइटिंग काफ़ी अच्छी है आपकी विद रिस्पेक्ट टू हैंडराइटिंग टू बी अंडरस्टूड इन एग्जाम्स। अभी आपको मेरी बात को नहीं लेना सीरियसली तो मत लो, बट ठीक है, हैंडराइटिंग में कोई इश्यू नहीं है। मैं तो इससे भी डिफिकल्ट हैंडराइटिंग्स देखी है स्टूडेंट्स की जो पास होता है, और आपकी तो उससे काफ़ी अच्छी है। बस स्पेलिंग्स गलत मत लिखो, वो गैस वर्क नहीं हो पा रहा। और क्या चैलेंज है बताओ? ATCs क्यों नहीं देख पाए हम लोग स्टूडेंट्स? प्रीतम टॉक टू बी स्टूडेंट्स, प्लीज टॉक। क्या हो रहा है ये? ऐसे ही बैठे हैं सब लोग, ना तो कोई दिखाई दे रहा है मुझे।
सर मेरे को लगा कि मतलब दिल्ली का सारे मैंने बात कर लिया एक्सेप्ट ग्राउंड, सो दैट्स व्हाई आई शिफ्टेड टू।
अप्रोच को नहीं किया था आपने कॉल, रह गया वो।
ओके,
अप्रोच को कॉल करते तो रिस्पांस मिल जाता आपको। क्या हुआ?
हाँ सर, वही मुझे लगा कि मैंने बात किया, सो दैट्स व्हाई आई शिफ्टेड टू
लगा
चिल्लापुर।
लगा तो तुम बोल रहे हो, यहाँ पे तुमने एक जयपुर अप्रोच किया था, दिल्ली रेडियो किया था,
जयपुर अप्रोच हो गया था
दिल्ली
सर।
कंट्रोल किया था, एंड फिर चिलेर की टावर कहाँ है? दिल्ली अप्रोच कहाँ है? दिल्ली
मुझे
टावर
नहीं
भी नहीं है। आपको लगा आपने सबको कॉल किया, बट दिल्ली टावर और दिल्ली अप्रोच को तो नहीं किया कॉल। ऐसे कैसे लग रहा है और कैसे हो रहा है?
नहीं, टावर को नहीं किया क्योंकि वो क्लोज्ड है, एंड ग्राउंड तो ऑब्वियसली वी आर नॉट इन ग्राउंड, सो
अप्रोच
उसके
नहीं
अलावा
किया ना? अप्रोच क्यों मिस हो गया? थोड़ा आप लोग चार्ट्स को अच्छे से देखोगे ना स्टूडेंट्स, आपको समझ में आएगा। यूज इट। आई टोल्ड यू द अदर डे ऑल्सो, you need 3 elements. You need your charts, you need to be looking at your flight plan, and you have to look at your logs. Generally I'm always looking at my flight plan, my question paper and my charts. बाकी log पे तो सिर्फ लिख रहा हूँ जो मैं सोच के बोल रहा हूँ। So for me it becomes important. If I'm aware, then if I'm not aware, then I should spend some more time doing chart reading. और मेरी प्रिपरेशन ही सही नहीं है तो मैं एग्जाम में क्यों जा रहा हूँ? थोड़ा अच्छे से पक्का कर लेता हूँ ना उसको। वी शुड बी थिंकिंग लाइक दैट। Okay. Vignesh, what was your issue in this call?
Initially, I was fumbling, sir. I didn't get that intent in the first go. I thought whether it's a clearance, so I thought to get a transit clearance. I'm in flight level 270. So it is below 270. So I thought I would take a transit clearance. Then in other information, I saw that it's non-RVSM. So I felt we need to use that. So this is the call. So I thought of climbing to flight level 290 and mentioning negative RVSM. That is the point, sir. I got it at a later time.
Okay, fine. Good thinking. Actually, Delhi approach had given you a go ahead, but I think I was on mute. But you simulated good. You tried to call the next ATC. Generally, I've taught you to try to talk to every ATC twice if you're raising a station. You missed out on that point. That way, if you'd have just raised the station again, Delhi approach, I would have realized I'm on mute and I would have gotten it. So you're not following that basic practice, students. Again, you're thinking about answers. You're not thinking about that you are in the cockpit. It's realistic. What would you do in a realistic situation? Okay. So that was an error. Of course, you jumped to conclusion. You didn't do the right thing and you directly did it with tower. It was like, okay, you're doing the wrong thing. You're doing the wrong thing. But when you're raising a station, you don't have to say, how do you read? Simply raise the station. Delhi approach, Victor Tango, Lima Hotel, Yankee.
Okay. Roger.
Yeah. So you are breaking the protocol of raising a station by inducing radio check in it. These are basic things, you know. Then if you didn't hear anything, let's say you got no response. Students, you should write no response if you don't get a response. Then you said Delhi and then Delhi control. What is this Delhi control? We should say correction. So that is one basic protocol you didn't follow. That will deduct marks. A lot of corrections with call sign, fine. You should say correction by saying the last correct word. Time now unnecessarily said. Now it doesn't sound very professional to say time now and consume so much of time here. We should write it any other question only. Request climb flight level, aircraft negative RVSM. And this due Delhi control zone closed below flight level 270 was nice use of the reason. Came in too late and too awkwardly. You need more clarity. That's it. On to how to frame it. Then your call will be very perfect. You spend a lot of time, 6 minutes total, because one call was wrong and RCF was there because you were calling the wrong ATC. Simple thing, if it have taken a couple of more seconds, a few more seconds to think about the whole situation, if it struck you later on, it should have struck you before only in the first call. Simple. You know it. Why didn't you recall it? You have to work on that. Try to guide your mind to come up with the appropriate solution before you give a call. Everybody is looking for something that they have done before. Why does everybody want the easy path? Looking for something that you have done before is the easiest way to clear an exam, right? You already know the questions. It means you already know the answer. It means in the exam you are avoiding real thinking. Think about it. We think we are good students, we don't copy, but mugging up and waiting and for such questions and answer is nothing but copy only. Because we have copied it in our mind, we are just reproducing it. So you're training your mind like that, or our mind is trained like that. Now tell the mind that, okay, don't think like this always. That is where some of you are giving and transit clearance. It's a trick question. It is meant to confuse you all. And this is the point to check whether you are aware or not, or whether you are just into specific questions, specific answers, or you are into the real life situational awareness. This is the breaking point right now. If you learn this, students, even though you will be shaking in your exams, you will clear and you'll come back and be like, that was a difficult exam I've cracked, is what you will say. It's supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be easy. So here, if we could have given more time, I'm sure Vignesh would have come up, and if would have even done a wrong structuring but correct words, he would have easily got 14, 16. If this would have come because he was relating with situational awareness. But it came in too late, and that too with the wrong ATC. Delhi approach should have been raised once more. Didn't do it. He should have done that at least once more. And without how do you read? That is not how you raise the station. Second, basic error, Delhi control, and directly call given. At least raise the station and see if Delhi control is talking to you. If nobody else was there, then Delhi control would have helped you. Definitely Delhi control would have helped you here. So you're going in the right track, but not following the basics. So you get a 12 on this. Next call, control over Uxida, behind schedule, flight level 270. You didn't maintain continuity. You had requested 2980. You should have said 2980 now. Okay. Correction, revised estimates. Again, whenever you say correction, say the last correct word and then start correction. Revised ETA was missing. You get more points on revised ETA, students. Okay. So you're not saying that, but good use of request descent to flight level 200. I don't know why you are requesting for even numbers when you all are having odd flight levels. Keep odd to odd, even to even, students. Sajal, I don't know, you have studied so much, still you say sir 280 and ले लेता क्यों नहीं ले रहे हो, क्यों नहीं दे रहे हो? Odd to odd, even to even रखना चाहिए था ना, इसलिए नहीं ले रहे हैं हम. आप 270 पे हो, आप 250 मांग लो, 290 मांग लो. 250 नहीं देंगे, 290 मिल जाएगा, 310 मिल जाएगा. आप अपना ऑड टू ऑड, इवन टू इवन मेंटेन करना है. तो 280 कहाँ आ रहे? सिचुएशनल अवेयरनेस नहीं आ रही. हमें पता तो है कुछ करना है, अब बस क्या करना है? गिव अस टाइम, सर, सम टाइम टू थिंक, स्टूडेंट्स. Let it come to you. Human factor. You all have seen the movie Sally, right? What does he say? He says computer simulations and my point of action to land the aircraft, by deducting that I cannot land to the available two aerodromes, there was a delay of about 50 seconds. So he said, I needed my training to kick in and I needed that time to come up with that decision, while your computers are automatically coming with that decision. So the 50-second gap is the reason why you are simulating a safe landing in one of those available aerodromes, when in real time I could not estimate it because it would have crashed. The plane would have crashed. Of course, in those 50 minutes, he lost so much of altitude that he would not have made it to the pilots, the landing aerodromes. So for you, you need that time to come with the right solution. This is what I teach you to do, but some students, they're like not interested in learning it. But those who do, they clear. So think about it. This is all real. Everything is real. You're learning RT. The day you learn RT, you'll clear RT exams like a hot knife through butter. That's how it is. So here, position, radial, DME, fine, flight level, top of descent was not mentioned. Keywords. So a little bit of lack of situational awareness. You have not yet found your sweet spot. Your sweet spot will have all the correct things. It is like that. So you might be in a spot, but you don't have all correct things. I was okay with the call. Not my majority of wrong things done, but continuity was not maintained. And I need some energy in the call, which is the final thing I would ask you all to have. Same for Preetham also, Vignesh also, everyone. I need that urgency. You're in air. Come on. You're flying. You're flying such a heavy aircraft. I mean, come on. You need to have some excitement. That reflects you are serious about your calls. I cannot tell you the benefit of it, students. And last, on finals, request visual approach, right? I liked how the call was simple. On finals, for runway, you don't say for. On finals, runway 1, 2. Trick given to you, runway closed, due weather, report intention. I was hoping you request for alternate runway. Request instructions to land at alternate runway, but you didn't say that. You did something else altogether. Now I'm like, what is it doing? So you're on finals, you're saying close due weather, good read back. Would like to climb to flight level 5. I'm like, why? Why do you want to do it? Request further instructions for what? Correction, would like to divert to alternate Chandigarh. Arre, why? What happened? I just said this runway is not available. You just took it like, okay, what do I do? I'm going back to Chandigarh. Why? Is it a time critical emergency? You should have asked, why is the runway unavailable? Is there alternate runway available? How long will it take for me to land? And then decide to go to Chandigarh. Chandigarh might not be open for you. You cannot just decide right now, diversion. No emergency was there. It was not required. Only one runway was not available. You could have asked for alternate runway like Preetham did. So, and said goes to Chandigarh. I'm like, why? So it's like, okay, go to next question. Judging the question with respect to the call made, and call was good, clean call. But it was not sounding perfect, I would say. In the end, if we have room of error, the error is not much. A few basics were missed. In this, the basics were not missed. It was just not sounding perfect, I would say, which will come if you focus on these errors. Here also you get 12. So you see, you've not lost any technical points much. It's just that what are you doing and why was not communicated properly?
Actually, the runway was not available due bad weather. So I assumed that it is bad weather. So I should have asked for holding and request time to land after clear of weather. But I thought I'll go to the alternate.
See, Vignesh, this will happen with us, because we don't have experience. So our logic would tell us that this could mean this could mean that. I don't blame you. Okay. But how do we channel your logic to divert or help you take the decisions in the right direction so that it matches with what the examiners expect or what you are expected to do? Okay. So you need to develop that. How would you develop that? You focus. Only runway 1, 2 is closed. Aerodrome is not closed. Amritsar is not closed. You gave me answers with respect to Amritsar closed. So that was the difference you missed completely. You assumed runway 1, 2 closed means full Amritsar aerodrome is closed. What if there is a small microburst cloud for runway 1, 2, but what if there's a parallel runway, alternate runway? You ask. What's the harm in asking? Of course, there will be the other side of the runway available. You ask if the opposite end of the runway is available for visual approach. Ask. Confirm if opposite of runway 1, 2 available for visual approach as aircraft ILS malfunctioning. You could have asked, or you could have asked runway 30, 120 plus 180. So that is the first thing you would do. If they say no, 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 then you ask for how long. If they say it could be 15 or 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then you check your endurance. Check how much fuel is there. Would you like to wait? And then you check, is Chandigarh open? How long will it take for me to go to Chandigarh? Is it safe? If 15 minutes I have to wait here, will Chandigarh be traveled within 10 to 15 minutes or not? Are they available with visual approaches? Because my ILS is not working. Is the runway available or not? All this will happen, which will take 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Only then you'll be making a decision then. Because right now the runway is only closed, not the aerodrome. So they are there, they are going to help you. So that was the key factor over here. So think about these situations. Probably when you think, your logic will guide you in the right direction then. That's all unnecessary things you have done, but your heart is in the right place. You assumed a wrong problem. So you took wrong decisions to increase your safety. So you're not doing something wrong. You just thought that the problem is something else. It can happen with everyone. So I don't blame you there, but we expect you to do the right thing. Now it takes time. So I think 12, 12, 12 is 60%, which is a very good score. (36 upon 60). It can be easily increased. Easy 15 marks you have if you could work on these mistakes. Easy 15. But for you to reach there, it just requires one flip of the switch in your understanding. And it will come to you. When does it come to you now? That depends. That gives you 85%. So not far off. Anything you'd like to discuss, Vignesh? You can give me excuses as many as you want and I will sympathize with you. I'll say not your fault. In the exams, I can help you with that also, students. If you don't clear, I can say not your fault. So, leaving all that aside, anything that you'd want to discuss, dispute,
Negative. Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor.
Okay, Pritam, are you there?
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango Delta Alpha Sierra.
But Vignesh, you were expecting 60, you got 60. How cool is that? Accurate. So somewhere I think you're on the right track.
Sir, based on this performance, I expected 6-0, but I am aiming about higher.
I know you were, so whatever you were confident about that will give you 60, you got because of those. And the reason why you didn't get is because of the errors. You minimize the errors and you're good to go 60, 75 anytime you have in your kitty. Right? But you have to improve. Otherwise, similar result will be coming from the exam and you might be like, oh, sir, I'll try better next time. I'll be like, yeah, I'm there to help you. But what if we still have the chance to change that to, oh, sir, I cleared. It was tough, but I cleared. Part 2 was really good. I'm hoping it turns in my favor. These 3 words are what I'm expecting to hear from you students. Not everybody who clears part 1 will clear part 2 also. Sometimes some students cannot clear because they cannot satisfy those examiners part 2. So I'm saying simultaneously prepare and strengthen your part 2 also, because part 1 you might not realize and you will clear. It will be tough, but your training is such, if you use your training in the exams, it will work in your favor. If you mix match 2 or more things, then you will not be neither here nor there. Like, then it's not gonna help. So good, yeah. Good that you knew you'll get 16. When you were giving the calls, I knew there were good things, but I knew you're not gonna score more because of the errors you were making. Even after that, you're getting 60 is a good score, yeah. Well done. So you have a lot of strengths in your calls, but we cannot just depend upon them. So Preetham, for you, students, please be there, okay? Don't just leave. I know it's your lunch break coming in. Whenever you're raising a station, you don't say, how do you read? Preetham, is that clear? Quick acknowledgements.
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango Delta Alpha Sierra.
Then you called radio. Again, how do you read? Not to be used. No response. Why have you not written no response in your logs? कैसे पता चलेगा? आपने क्यों दोबारा कॉल किया? कब से सिखा रहे हैं ये आपको? कब याद रहेगा ये? प्रीतम, when will you remember this? Why have you not written no response?
So I
Students,
forgot,
whenever
sir.
you don't get a response, you cannot forget. You are doing it in real time. You cannot forget to log. You have to write no response. Students who are not yet practicing how to write no response, you have to write no response. Otherwise, how will we know? Then you call Delhi radio. How do you read? Again, don't use how do you read. Again, you didn't write no response. Jaipur approach. Don't use how do you read. Just raise the station. Then finally, Delhi control came and asked you to contact appropriate authority, giving you a hint over here. Probably thinking there are only 2 ATCs left. You said Roger. And one thing I saw, Preetham, in the way you talk, whenever you end your calls, you're not being clear. Victor Tango Lima, what is that? How do you read? You say it so fast that you are rushing to end the call. That is the first thing I teach everyone when we are learning. End your calls at the same pace that you start your calls. So please don't do that again, because you will lose marks here. You tried Chilergi Tower, fine, you were trying, or you could have tried approach. Delhi approach was there. Again, how do you read? And Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee. So here you gave a Roger, and then you quickly started. Here the structuring was wrong. W1 and then W2. Chilerki Tower, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee. Ideally, tower is not available. Chilerki, you will not talk Chilerki Tower. It's just an en route VOR for you right now. But still, fine. You tried. What call would you have given here, Preetham? If you would have got the right ATC?
So say again, Victor Tango Delta Alpha Sierra.
What would you have done with your call? क्या intention होता आपका? if you would have got the right ATC?
वही सर climb करने का, because I would have climbed like 290, but मेरे को वो non-aerobicism याद नहीं रहा, so I should have just climbed to 290 and continue.
खुद से क्लाइम
25.
नहीं करेंगे, क्वेश्चन में बोला है रिक्वेस्ट क्लियरेंस, आप क्लाइम का क्लियरेंस मांगोगे, रिक्वेस्ट क्लाइम, टॉप ऑफ क्लाइम. You remember this?
If I'm sir, top of
Nobody is talking about this, students. We will request climb clearance. We'll mention top of climb. And we are requesting flight level 290 or 310, whichever is applicable, by mentioning negative RVSM. Please make a note of it in this situation, everyone. अभी तो आप सिर्फ क्लाइम करते, बट अभी क्या करोगे? अभी जब आपको आंसर पता है, what would you do now in this case?
I would contact Delhi Control and request for climb to flight level 290, and also mention about the non-RVSM.
Why Delhi Control
and
again?
continue flight.
Delhi approach. We are in a Delhi approach. You missed. अभी मैंने दिखाया
Correction,
था.
Delhi approach. Correction,
First,
Delhi
try to
approach.
talk to Delhi approach, students. Delhi approach might ask you to get clearance from Delhi Control. Yeah, simple. Or they might have asked you to get the control, the clearance from Delhi Tower also. Because they are not available till 270. They might be available beyond that. Probably you could have been asked to take a transit clearance also if the call would have continued. First, flight level would have been cleared for you. Okay, no problem. Here, you tried to call the right ATCs, but it was not establishing. This is one of the toughest experiences you could have in the exam. So I'm hoping, Pritham, that abhi ho gaya to exam mein nahi hoga aisa error. So this is a good thing that you have experienced today. Make it use, okay? Make it come to use to you. So here you get a 10. Generally, kuch hua hi nahi. Call me, you could also get an 8 over here. So this is why we are losing a lot of marks. Not your fault. You just couldn't call the right ATC, and examiner was trying to give you hints, but it was not working out. Examiner was not wanting you to waste more time because we were hoping you will prove yourself in the next questions. So we asked you to go to the next question like that. So it was to help you only, hoping that let's see how he or she does. Nothing else. Question number 2, control. Over Uxida, you didn't read it. Why did you do uniform X-ray India Delta Alpha?
So I couldn't pronounce it properly, so I just.
तो अभी आप क्या प्रैक्टिस करोगे आज जब सेल्फ स्टडी कर रहे हो? When you're self studying today, go through all the charts, and whatever not, you make sectors of the charts like you have thought. You take all the waypoints, and whatever you cannot pronounce, make a list of them, and let me know. Asterisks and let me know. I'll show you how they are spoken, and you could practice that. Or you try to do it on your own. They are separated by vowels. Those vowels help us pronounce it, students. The key to your waypoint nomenclature is that there are 2 or more letters, 3 or more letters separated by 2 or more vowels. And they could be meaningless names also, like Uxida, Elrogs, Bollocks, right? So be very careful. Time now, students, don't mention time now again and again. Anyway, our calls are with respect to the structure. So mention the time at the beginning of the question only over here. Flight level 270, VR 15, correction 15. So I liked, here you should have said correction, we are 15 minutes behind schedule. So remember the rule for correction, start with the last correct word said. Due strong headwind, you gave a reason why you took delay. Good effort. If it's not there, then it's not there. Here you got a delay because of your clearances and climb, the CTR delay. CTR being unavailable was the reason for delay here with respect to how the paper was set. But you explained by yourself, makes sense. Bollocks, you should say revised ETA, Amritsar. And here you started with your call sign. And again, you ended the same call with this call sign. This happens with beginners. We need to move a step ahead of this now. And descent was not asked. Descent clearance, top of descent. So Preetham, why did you say the call sign twice? And why did you not request for descent? Otherwise, a good call, I would say. You're on
So
mute.
I was
Yeah.
no, sir. I was not aware that I have to ask for the descent. So
Why
I
not?
just made.
Situational awareness, students.
Mm.
What are the possible segments of flight? Takeoff, top of climb, en route, top of descent, landing. Hasn't this been taught to everyone? We are close to Amritsar right now. What are we supposed to do? We are somewhere here. The next point of important segment would be top of descent only for us. So it is obvious for us to be aware about. Students, be very realistic. प्रीतम अभी तो नहीं भूलोगे.
Negative, sir. Victor Tango
Your
does not
climb and
proceed.
descent can be applicable anywhere, students. Be very careful. Ayush, what's the question on your mind?
Sir, like Pritham has done in the call, he has given the call sign in last. In my exam also, when I am giving the call, the examiner said, please give your call sign at end. How we know that you have ended your call?
That is for readbacks and replies. Okay. Here, listen to me. No matter what he said, I know what you're saying, sir. He said that end it. That is not the rule. Okay. Because our call becomes too lengthy, you can say, sir, I have used it initially when I have taken your call sign. This is why generally when you feel that you also need to mention your call sign, you can say, I say again, Victor Tango, Lima Hotel Yankee, over Uksida. Like this, you can say your call sign again. To ensure that you spoke a lengthy call to confirm your identity, you started initially also with your call sign, and at the end, you are specifying your call sign. Are you getting me, Ayush? Now tell me, what were you saying?
Yes, sir. But I am giving all my call sign at end. But in the first call, he has tell me that you have not tell the your call sign at end. I don't know why he tell that.
हो सकता है आपका कॉल बहुत लेंदी हुआ होगा, ऐसा ही कुछ हुआ होगा.
Yes, sir.
हो
Lengthy.
सकता है. Yeah, that's why. So he missed it. He didn't write it properly. So in this case, this is why I'm saying, listen to this, Ayush. ऐसा होता है अगर आपका कॉल लेंदी है तो आई से अगेन बोल के अपना कॉल साइन और अपनी बेसिक पोजीशन रेफरेंस दोबारा से दे दो कॉल के एंड पे, तो वो लोग वो इश्यू नहीं बनाएंगे एंड आप प्रोटोकॉल भी नहीं तोड़ोगे. समझ रहे हो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? आई एम गिविंग यू अ सोल्यूशन. आई एम गिविंग यू अ रीजन. अभी उन्होंने क्या रीजन सोचा होगा? डेफिनेटली दे मिस्ड writing your call sign initially and they didn't hear you emphasize on the call sign. Maybe they missed your call sign completely. As a rule, you will only use your call sign at the end whenever giving readbacks. Okay, but if he or she is saying a problem is there, it means probably they missed your call sign initially. Maybe you missed saying your call sign, or maybe they didn't write it, or maybe they were not aware enough that by the time you finished your long call, they were thinking that there are chances that your identity could be confused. So you logically try to mark your call again with your call sign. Logically, you could do that. Don't stick to that particular point there. They could have any number of reason. It could be a logical reason. It could be a mistake from their part, or it could be a mistake from your part. I'm giving you all three possibilities. I'm preventing this mistake by not making the protocol. What here, the same thing happened with Preetham. Preetham probably lost awareness by the time he finished this call, thought about everything, whether he had started the call, but he realized I have to mention my call sign. So that way he has set the call sign. But there is a way to specify this call sign. You can say it by laying more emphasis by using the phrase, I see again, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee over Uxida, flight level 290. Here it's 270, because of 290, request descent in the end. Pritam, are you following? Pritam, why have you not responded to this question? Why did you use your call sign again towards the end? That point.
Yes, I thought like I didn't mention the call sign.
So
So I was
students,
just
a lot of, yeah, carry on.
So yeah, I just like thought that I didn't mention the call sign. So as a like instinct, I just said my call sign at the end.
Students, control your assumptions. Be aware of the situation. Look, ऊपर लिखा है call sign. अगर हमें बोलना है तो हम ऐसे बोलेंगे अच्छे से इसको. I hope everybody is picking up these techniques. Pritam, are you picking it up? Ayush, are you picking it up?
Yes, sir.
FM sir, Victor Tango Delta Alpha sir.
You also forgot, the examiner also forgot. Ayush, you didn't forget though. But logically आप बहुत लंबा कॉल ले रहे हो, स्लो जा रहे हो, आपका कॉल साइन भूल गए, उन्होंने नहीं लिखा है, फर्स्ट कॉल था, they might not be prepared in logging your call. Understand, human factors. So from us, from our strategy, we put this in our strategy. If we are speaking a call slow or there's a lot of information, in the end, it doesn't hurt to say I say again, call sign and one basic position element, even though that has been said earlier. To fix the issue from the root cause only. कोई बात नहीं प्रीतम. Otherwise, it was a good call. You get a 12 on this. 12 to 13 के रेंज में आपको फिर भी मिल सकता है यहाँ पे. Good otherwise. Next call on finals runway 1 to enable maintain glide slope. Would like to do correction. Like to initiate missed approach. And where is go around procedure? सिखा रहे हैं वो use क्यों नहीं कर रहे हो आप? Why didn't you not use go around? Because of this, your whole question got messed up, you know. Climb to 2000 feet, request for alternate runway. Victor Tango Lima. फिर से आपने कॉल साइन यूज किया, थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग लगता है. आपको अगर बोलना है तो प्रोसीजर के थ्रू बोलना है, जैसे मैंने सिखाया. Why didn't you not take go around here? Now what happened? Tower was playing tricks with you. That safe altitude is 2500 feet. So your 2000 feet is not going to be safe for you. Go around not approved as not requested. It's not approved because you have not requested. You are giving it right there to you that you didn't request. Why did you not request? Runway 30 is unavailable for visual approach. You didn't mention visual approach at all. So ATC gave you a hint that you're just required to take a visual approach here, not do anything else. So, but we told you the alternate runway is not available for visual approach. You could have tried runway 1 to visual approach. The first thing that you are required to do, you didn't ask for that. So that was the point. This was taught to you. Unable to maintain glide slope is wrong assumption. ILS malfunctioning is the right word here. Unable to glide slope could be due to many more reasons. It could be due to microburst, downdraft. Here say ILS malfunction. Request visual approach. That was your ideal call. You could have scored really good. And if you're not able to do it, then initiating missed approach and go around procedure. Here we don't say would like to and all. Here we increase the urgency. We are taught to do these things on our own. And Roger, safe correction, minimum safe altitude. So correction is not properly used. 2500 feet, go around not approved as requested. It was as not requested. You could have simply said request go around. Runway 30 unavailable for visual approach. Good read back otherwise. Would like to initiate go around. So I was happy that you finally said you want to do it. Would like to initiate a missed approach and go around procedure. Climb and maintain. Okay. Also, we cannot use also, but it's fine naturally if it's coming here and there. Request runway 30 for ILS correction VOR landing. Not a right way to use. But your approach you could have said. Request runway 30 for VOR approach. That was a good way to say because you didn't have visual approach available. and ILS is not working. So I'll give you credit. But it was not clear in understanding the conversation. So I can see you're in the right place, but I think you need some more time to study and revise and include things in your assets, the points that are going to help you increase. So how will you find your safe spot? That is very important. So it was a good call, good rally overall. A few errors here and there, but still you get good over here. You get 13 or 14. Being on a generous side because you didn't get a chance to do the first question. Minimum you would have easily got 12 on this, not more, not less than that. So let's take this 13, 12, and 8. You're 55%. And if I'm being on the generous side, I'll be like 14, 13, and 10. That's 61.66%. So I see somewhere there is consistency. That is good. But we need to include more scoring points. That's it. It will come with finesse. You're there, I can see. Now remember, if you're comparing with Vignesh and yourself, so Vignesh has had multiple exposure and a lot of practice. You have not had it. With respect to that, if you see your first attempt, it was amazing. I'm very proud to see the way you are confident and taking calls and you feel confident to do things your way. It will help you in the examination, definitely. I would suggest you follow the training over and above, do whatever you feel like. That combination will be good. But if you overshoot what I've taught in the training and do your things, then something could go extra wrong. That is extra, but that is not right. So instead of that, we follow the base of training first and then do what we like, and you'll see you can easily score. I think easily anywhere you will be getting out of marks only, because otherwise I don't see much errors. But situational awareness, you were panicky, or maybe you just lost focus, or maybe you need to increase focus. You didn't call approach, didn't raise the call sign properly, and structuring of the sentences will come with practice. So good score. Really happy to see your first attempt score being this. I'm just hoping from here you'll go up and up in your next practice sessions. Vignesh, with respect to your performance, I'm happy that you have maintained some sort of stability in your scores, but I'm expecting a little more. And the difference is nothing, it's just a click in the mind. So you be aware, you think about it and see how it happens and start practicing your part two also. Okay, students, any questions, anyone? Pritam and Vignesh, final feedback. How do you feel? What are you taking away from this session? Vinay, Om, please keep your doubt parked. Write the date and park. We'll discuss it next time. Okay. So make sure it is parked. Sajal, what are your thoughts? Sajal, part 2 text I have shared today, please revise it, study it today, because I'm expecting a few part 2 practice vivas, 5-minute viva for all February students. Your answers could be right, your answers could be wrong. It is more about your ability. So I'm hoping tomorrow after part 1 simulation, we'll do a little bit of part 2 simulation. So until then, you'll have good material to revise. Okay, students?
Right, sir.
Do that, please. And if you're not happy with something, please don't hold a grudge. I'm someone who understands if somebody is psychologically not feeling good about me, especially when it comes to my students. So I don't like those feelings. You're all adults. Somewhere you would want to blame someone. And if you think the blame is coming at me, you let me know, to the point, so that at least whatever your mind needs to settle down and get rid of those feelings, I can give that to you on priority. If you're not getting what you need, and if you're not at peace, then I should know. If you're at peace, it means you believe in the strategy and the plans. Okay, so feel free to ask. We still have time. If you think that you have not gotten something because we are saying don't do it like this, like that, then don't live with a problem. If that's a problem, share. This is a problem. I don't know. I need to fix this. What to do? Have a healthy discussion so that we have time, we can work on it. But if you go on silent mode or grudge mode and not talk and feel bad, then that would take away some important time of self preparation that you could have. Everything is done with a plan, and we are hoping that we all are on the same tangent. If we are not on the same tangent, let's bring each other on the same tangent. Right? So whoever is facing, if you're facing, you will just drop me a text and we'll do the needful. Whatever is pending, whatever is required to do, we missed out on doing, you'll highlight it again and say, sir, I'm still looking forward to that thing that we missed or we should have or something like that. Be proactive. Okay. I've taken your extra time, but we are wrapping up the session right now. After the break, you are on your own. It means you go through the part 2 text, at least get a good base of part 2 notes, topics, and see if there's any final preparation left for your part 1 practice. Okay. Victor Ango, Sierra Mike, go ahead.
Sir, I haven't received the part 2 reading material. If it is the same as you gave
Yeah,
it
yeah, you
before,
have
so
it, right? You have
okay,
it.
okay,
It's
then I
the
have it.
same.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Students, if there are any typo errors, bring it to my attention sharing the screenshot. Okay. When you're reading, if there's any typo error, do confirm, say this is an error or this is done on purpose. Usaid, what's on your mind?
Sir, I have not received email notes.
हाँ, आपको भेजा हुआ होगा पास्ट में, इसलिए आपको दोबारा नहीं भेजा है। तो पहले जो मिला है वही भेजा है, कुछ एक्स्ट्रा नहीं है, बट
Sir,
वही
which
मैं
one?
वापस भेज दूंगा मैं।
Okay, sir.
Anything else, students? If you'll have any more concerns, just drop me a message. Nukul, what's on your mind?
Sir, I have make a call for question 3 is Amritsar Tower, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee, heavy Boeing 737 1145 on finals runway heading 12, ILS is malfunctioning, request visual approach.
It's a very good call, Nukul. एक ही चीज मिसिंग है कि वाई एस्पेक्ट को पहले बोलना है। पहले आपने पोजीशन को इतना ज्यादा बोल दिया कि मुझे वाई एस्पेक्ट नहीं मिल रहा है उसमें, तो इसको आप रीस्ट्रक्चर करोगे और रीस्ट्रक्चर करके बोलोगे अमृतसर टावर, विक्टर टैंगो लीमा होटल यांकी, फाइनल्स रनवे 32, suspecting ILS malfunction, instrument approach unable, request visual approach, runway 12, aircraft on finals, runway 12, and then you can give whatever details you want to give. What did I do? I was just explaining the same situation in couple of ways. So I'm emphasizing more on why am I calling, what's the main issue. And after that, if I give my position report, basic position report details like you did, then it works.
Affirm, sir. Victor Tango November Kilo Charlie.
So you see, students, always when you will give calls, there will be times when I'll tell you that your calls are not good or they will require improvement. It doesn't mean they're not good. It just means it can be better in these situations. And sometimes you'll see I'll be very positive about your calls. And you might feel that, why sir so positive? I made so many errors. So you see, there are two ways to look about everything with respect to how the overall performance has been. When I'm just being too critical about your errors, it means if you fix those errors, you're going to get easily 80, 85. That is the ultimate score target right now. And if I focus on positives, it means that you are in the right direction. You need to count and strengthen your positives. So that is why you will see sometimes some people are getting a more positive feedback, some are getting a more negative feedback. So it cannot be like your sir is always going to be nice to you. Right? We are just not being panicky and we are not being rude. That's all we are trying to do, otherwise everything is very sincere and serious. Any more doubts? So here, why aspect structuring should be prominent. Otherwise, your call technically is very good. No problems. So request visual approach, and we mention the runway again, students. Runway 1, 2. I say again, ILS runway 1, 2 unable due ILS malfunction. You can use keywords. See, I'm also thinking and coming. Unable, like Preetham was trying to use glide slope, we could have said ILS approach instead. Unable ILS approach runway 1, 2 due ILS malfunction. Request visual approach runway 1, 2, runway in sight. You could say that also because you're very close now. And if you get a visual approach clearance, cleared for visual approach, report runway inside, cleared for visual approach, cleared to land. You need cleared to land. Just like for takeoff, you need cleared for takeoff. For land, you need cleared to land. So it's a runway inside, cleared to land. Victor Tango, Lima Hotel Yankee, like that. Runway 1, 2. Again and again, you'll mention that. After touchdown, you'll stop the aircraft. Request taxi to apron with tower. So whenever you land, you give an arrival report or you say landed. Amritsar Tower, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee, landed runway 12, 1400. IFR, Udaipur to Amritsar. Request taxi to apron. Passenger on board 180, 140. Boeing 737 heavy. Like that, you can add. Whenever it is mentioned, give appropriate report on landing. Then when you start the call, you will say arrival report. Amritsar Tower, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee. Arrival report, Victor Tango Lima Hotel Yankee. Landed Amritsar, runway 12, 1400. IFR Udaipur to Amritsar. Request taxi to apron. Boeing 737 heavy. Passenger on board 120. Like this. So the calls are similar. But if the mention of in the question is report, then we say the word about arrival report. If there's no such mention, then we can say request visual approach for the same runway, and it would be given to you. So ILS is not working. It doesn't mean weather is bad. We are assuming weather is good. But if the examiner is saying weather is bad, then we request for alternate runway. If alternate runway is not there, then we request weather delay. How much is the weather delay? If we cannot fly for that much of time, then we'll request for Chandigarh. It's the same thing that we had discussed. Any more questions, students? I think I've sent to Syed and Suchita the email for the notes again. It has all that. It also has RTR book 3. That is the one for part 2. Okay. And WhatsApp also I've sent almost everyone who needed it. If you have not got it, you can request. Okay, students, I'll take a leave. You'll remember what to do. Read through part 2. Tomorrow I'll simulate a little bit of part 2 also. And we'll do a few more practices also. So Jyotsna is not done. And I think one more student is not done with the first time calls. So you might get a chance first. And then everybody in sequence will also get a chance. Vignesh, you have a question? Do you want to discuss quickly? What is that?
Not a question, sir. Just my takeaway would be I need to be more calm and so that I can read the question and assess the correct situation. And with that, I could structure the call even more better so that I can get more marks. Is that right? According to you, that's what I want to ask.
Say again the last part. I could not hear you properly.
So that I can structure the call in a better way instead of that panicking, fumbling, rearranging the structure. That helps a good impact of the call in order to gain more marks.
Yeah, always structuring in a better way is always a good idea. So what's the question here? Should you structure or not structure?
No, sir. You asked about takeaway. I'm just telling that I need to be more calm so that I can assess the situation more and give a proper call.
More calm, assess the situation more.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
Which helps the call structure eventually.
Yeah, definitely. You're right about it. It is a good takeaway. Very good. Staying calm helps. We learn it the hard way. There was one saying, experience teaches and at the cost of mistakes. We never really get it unless we reach a point in life where we actually feel it. Otherwise, it's just another quote given to us by some thinker or philosopher. But in exams, it practically applies. The experience that we are having in these calls or the failures in exams, they teach us. They teach us at the cost of mistakes only. If you do something wrong, you learn from it and you don't do it again. It's a learning from experience where you had made a mistake. So everyone who has spotted mistakes or spotting mistakes, you still have time to learn from those and not do it. That is the best teacher in life. So right now also you are in preparation phase. I would say till the time you don't give exam, you are still preparing. So why not be on the upward curve all the time? Prepare, 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 prepare. Don't expect too much with respect to performance. Expect from yourself with respect to learning. But generally you don't learn. You learn a little bit as a student and you expect the best. How will it match? If learning is little bit, how can the performance be best? And here good students go through, sincere students go through a lot of self-disappointment due to failure. They don't realize it's directly proportional. We need to increase this and then expect this performance. But sometimes we are here and we expect this. So I'm asking you to go on this path. So you reach there, not on this path. This path is not possible right now. It is not good. You have to reach this path. Performance is here, performance is not here. But you increase it by practicing, learning, learning, learning. Okay. So we are doing it. If you need anything else, do let me know. Okay. We'll schedule it and we'll do more practice. Chalo, I'll take your leave. Okay, students, thank you for being a nice class. Your session for day is done. Enjoy your lunch. And after that, do your self-study for part 2. Take care, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow and hoping to hear some more noise from your end.
Thank you, sir. Victor Tango, Romeo
Thank you,
Bravo.
sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Victor Tango, God from you, Papa.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye.